Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of Aaron Gordon's budget shoe, right? So this is called the 361º ZEN 6 and it retails for 110 bucks, but it's been on sale for like 100 bucks, right? Even the premium colorways where they're using a different material, like a more premium material, those retail for like 120, 130 bucks. So yeah, if you guys do want to call, but try to leave in the affiliate link in the description box. If you do choose to get this shoe, it does help me if you buy it through the affiliate link in the description box. But yeah. The AG5 is a very solid performer, and not my cup of tea because, you know, for me, I want a little bit more court feel, and you know, you can check out the performance review for that. But yeah, it's their shoes are absolutely amazing. 361 is an underrated brand. They make amazing performing hoop shoes, great quality, and it just looks good. Like the design looks great. Like this looks pretty dang good. You know what I mean? So, anyways, let's get started off with the traction. So in this color we have got like a white rubber out, so it's kind of like a very light peach color, you know what I mean? But we have a series of circles, right? So here in the forefoot we got a very big circle. It looks like Aaron Gordon's kind of like logo is there. Is that his? Yeah, it looks like his logo is right there. And then here in the heel we have another huge circle with 361 degrees kind of like logo. And yeah, how's the traction? So you do need to break it in a little bit, right? You don't really need to break it in for that long, but just a couple days and you're good to go, right? And when I first got these, it was sliding around a little bit, but just wasn't the most amazing bite, right? But after a couple days, the bite got really freaking good. So if you're playing on a clean court, this shoe bites extremely well, right? It pretty much has a top tier stop, which I do like. And also for dust, yeah, it's very nice, right? So it is affected by dust, you know, a little bit. However, I really love the consistency on a like a dusty setting, right? So the thing that's really good about it is that even though it does pick up dust, the bite is still like pretty good. It just slides out a little bit, slides around just a tiny bit, right? Of course, it's not gonna have like the top tier bite that it has on like a clean court, but it doesn't slide out like crazy, or it doesn't like, it's not affected by dust that much, you know what I mean? Just a tiny bit of sliding around, you know, which I do like. So it has pretty dang good dust performance. But also nothing that kind of sucks is that it picks up dust kind of fast, you know what I mean? So you do need to wipe pretty frequently, but it is a very easy wipe. It's just it doesn't slide around a lot, which I like, right? Also for durability, you should be good to go. I mean, this rubber is really thick, you know, the grooves are thick, also very deep, and the rubber is extremely hard, so you should be a-okay for outdoor use. And also because of this circular kind of shape, it actually feels pretty nice for pivoting. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're like on your forefoot, when you're pivoting, it feels very smooth, right? When you're doing pirouettes and stuff. So yeah, overall traction really surprised me. It's very nice once you break it in, right? And now moving on to the heel to toe transition, it feels overall pretty dang smooth, right? So this overall shape is kind of crazy. You know, here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape. Although it is very caged for the foam, like the rubber and also like this kind of plastic, it's very smooth, right? And then here in the forefoot, look at this. Crazy curved shape, right? So with this overall shape of the actual outsole, it feels very smooth. It has a nice, really like rocking motion. And then for the overall kind of forefoot, it actually has a little bit of springiness as well, which feels nice, right? Look at this. You need to put a little bit of, you know, I can't really even do it with one finger, maybe like 2 fingers. No, right? My whole hand. It has a good amount of tension to it, right? So it's not super flexible in the way where like it's not easily flexed. It has a nice bit of tension to it, and then a nice rebound back. So when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, right, or out of your first step, it has a nice kind of like springiness to it, right? So yeah, overall heel to toe transition, very smooth. And then coming here into the forefoot, it feels pretty explosive, which I do like. And now moving on to the cushioning setup. So the cushioning setup is weird, you know what I mean? So if you look at all of their other shoes, it's more of like a really soft setup, you know, very comfortable, especially for the underfoot cushion, you know, like if you look at the AG5. But in this setup, yeah, okay, so first of all, the court feel isn't that good. Yeah, I would say it's around average, maybe a little bit higher up than average, but it's not bad, but it's okay, right? However, the impact protection is really nice, right? So if you look at the insole is just a regular kind of like Ortholite insole, nothing too amazing, but that does, you know, improve the step-in comfort a little bit. But then underneath that, we have like a stiffer stroke board, right? So if you look at like the AG5 or the AG4, they give us a soft mesh stroke board, but in this shoe we have like a stiffer stroke board. And yeah, because of that, the underfoot cushion isn't as soft, you know what I mean? So it feels a little bit more stiff, a little bit more you know, responsive in that way. But if you're doing like hard impacts, you can definitely feel the foam compressing like underneath your foot, and impact protection is really, really nice, right? So it feels like a really responsive setup, which is weird, you know, because you are high up off the ground. Usually shoes that have, you know, thicker cushion, it's like softer, but with this setup, it's a little bit more responsive feeling, right? But still has really good impact protection, you know? There is a tiny bit of compression here in the heel, but it's not that much. But it also doesn't feel too clunky or anything like that. And as far as the foam goes, they are using full-length NRGX, right? It's this pink foam, right? It literally says NRGX right here. You can see the entire foam right here. But they are also using Quick CQ Tech foam, which is their nicer foam. It's a lot softer, a little bit bouncy as well. But it's more, it's in the forefoot, and it's like on the lateral side. It's a targeted pod pretty much. And it also looks pretty dang thin. So I don't really think I felt that foam in the forefoot that much. I also don't really know why they put it on the lateral side. Why wouldn't you put it on the medial side, you know, where the ball of your foot is? But anyways, either way, it's more of like a, you don't feel like any type of bounce, you know, there's not a lot of bounce, it's not super soft or anything, there's not a crazy amount of compression. It's just, I think the overall impact protection is really good. You get really good impact protection, but also like the core feels okay, you know what I mean? So it's a weird setup, you know, because usually, like I said, with this type of shoe where the foam is a little bit thicker, you get a lot more cushion, or like as in the sense of like you get more compression, you get more bounce and stuff like that. But I feel like they kind of wanted to make it a little bit stiffer, which I feel like kind of is better for guards if you want something more responsive. But again, like the court feel isn't the best, you know. So a very interesting, very weird kind of cushioning setup in my personal opinion, but still pretty dang nice, right? Now moving on to the upper. So the upper is pretty interesting. We have this kind of like asymmetrical lacing system, and also you can see that it kind of like wraps around asymmetrically, which is a pretty cool design. We have the AG logo right over here on the lateral side, and it looks very similar to Leno Weave right here. Very small area here in the toe box, and then the rest is kind of like there is an underlaying fuse, and then we also have another synthetic material right over here. And then going here into the medial side, it's more of like a kind of like a textile material. But then here in the toe box, it does feel it's weird because like here on the lateral side it's really thin, but here on the medial side it's a lot thicker and a lot stiffer. But yeah, it does conform to your foot pretty dang well. There's really no pinching, which I did like. And also the airflow through this part is really, really good, right? And then coming into the midfoot, it's the same exact type of material, but it's actually a lot thinner. Here it feels a little bit thicker, but then coming here into the like the midfoot, it feels a little bit more minimal, which is pretty weird. And then we have a good amount of, you know, padding here for the tongue, which does feel nice. It's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And also here in the ankle area, we have a nice bit of padding, and it's a really soft foam. It feels kind of like a memory foam, which does feel really comfortable here in the back of the shoe. So yeah, I really like the overall material, and for only $100 and $110 retail, the quality of the material is really nice. And also you can see the underlaying kind of mesh material here in the toe box as well. So yeah, I really like the overall material. It's thin, it's supportive, and also pretty cozy here in the back of the shoe. And now moving on to the fit. So I went true to size, right? I went the exact same size that I do literally in every other shoe that I have, right? So like in the AG4, the AG5, the Big 3 5.0 Quick, and the Quick Pro, a Big 3 Future, the Big 3 5.0 Pro, all of them I went true to size, and they all fit me really well, right? Really nice snug fit. But here in the Zen 6, it's so freaking snug. That's one thing that I really didn't like about this shoe, and I couldn't play in it. You know, like I usually like a really snug fit. I love a snug fit, but this is a little bit too snug for me, right? Lengthwise, it's too snug. It's too short, I mean. And then also for the toe box, it's really snug. And also widthwise, it's freaking narrow, like right over here. Probably because it is short. So yeah, probably don't go true to size. I would suggest going up half size because this shoe does run short for me. I guess, you know, if you want a really freaking snug fit and you have a really skinny foot, then maybe go true to size. But for most people, you should be better going up half a size, right? I definitely wish I went up half a size in the shoe. So yeah, that's one reason why I couldn't really, you know, enjoy playing this shoe, because it hurt my feet when I was playing it, right? Especially at the tip of the toe, my foot would kind of like bang the tip of the toe, you know what I mean? Like, especially when I was doing forward movements, and it would hurt a lot. So yeah, I really didn't like that, right? And then moving on to the support and lockdown, yeah, I mean, this shoe, it's made for Aaron Gordon, and it has amazing support and lockdown, right? So here in the forefoot, we have, you know, his logo. It does stiffen up the material a little bit, but we have this this cage, right? This plastic piece coming up, acting as a sidewall here in the forefoot. The overall material, like I said, is also very supportive. And then here in the heel, we have an internal TPU heel counter. So yeah, lateral containment, I was good to go. My foot's not coming out of the footbed. And also, we have a very wide base. It's not a crazy outrigger, but it does protrude out a good amount here in the forefoot, as you guys can see. So lateral stability is really good. And also, you can see how caged the foam is here in the heel. So it's not super unstable or anything at all. It's actually very stable. And overall lockdown is really good too. You know, like it's way too snug for me. So my foot felt really locked into the shoe. My foot was not moving at all inside of the shoe. So yeah, supporting lockdown overall is really nice. And also, even if you are a bigger dude, you should be good to go with this shoe. You know, support is really, really nice. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe, it doesn't feel super heavy, but also not super lightweight. I'm guessing like 12, 13? Yeah, 12.45 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 12.7 ounces, right? So that's pretty much average weight. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So yeah, it doesn't feel super minimal because, you know, I mean, it does feel pretty minimal here in the forefoot, but because of the extra padding here in the ankle area, it's not a super minimal feeling upper, but no, I really like it because it doesn't feel super bulky, you know what I mean? Like, nothing's protruding out like crazy. There's no crazy kind of caging that kind of comes up or anything. And overall, it does feel pretty responsive. Like I said, the cushion is a little bit on the stiffer side of things, and also the traction, especially when I was playing on a clean court, is very, very nice. So overall, it is a pretty responsive feeling shoe. It's just, I wish the court feel was a little bit better, just in my personal opinion, right? Because I am a guard. And then moving on to the ventilation. Ventilation is pretty good, right? So through this tongue, there's not a lot of airflow, and also like in the midfoot, there's not a lot of airflow, but here through this toe box, there is a lot of airflow. So it wasn't super hot, but also it wasn't the best for airflow because it's just this part that has airflow, right? So there's the ventilation there. Moving on to the aesthetics, I really like it. Like I said, you know, they did a great job on the design. They did a great job on the colorways as well. Some of the colorways look really, really good. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, this is a very solid performer. The only thing I didn't like is the fit, you know what I mean? And I wish I went up half a size. And also, one thing that I would change just for me is make it a little bit lower to the ground, and also put a soft mesh strobe board in, right? And that'll make the cushion a lot better for me personally, for guards, you know, but it's not made for guards, and it makes sense. And if you're a bigger dude, you're a heavier dude, you probably still will feel the cushioning setup underneath your foot. And because it is thicker, it'll be, you know, a lot easier to feel, and also it'll be a little bit more responsive because it's not using like a soft mesh strobe board, and probably wouldn't mind the higher up off the ground feel, right? So yeah, even if you are a guard, I feel like you can still enjoy this shoe, but it's not the best option in my personal opinion. But also, if you're a bigger dude, this is an amazing option, especially if you're trying to save money, right? It has great support, cushion feels nice, even though it's not the best, you know? So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the 361 ZEN 6. Again, if you guys do want to copy, try to leave in the free link in the description box, but that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.